Nobody
Yeah.
Don't say anything. Size it.
Oh, it must. What is this?
You hear your...
Stop it. This is this
Jean-Luc, his body is betraying his degeneracy pretty hard. Maybe you can ask him to...
You reek of it. An invisible... Nobody...
Yeah.
Don't say anything.
Are you? It must be frightening. What is...
You hear...
Stop. This is this
Jean-Luc, his body is betraying his degeneracy pretty...
You reek of it. An invisible sword of Al-Ghul emerges from your throat. You cannot...
It's not good.
No, you...
Show him. Does this remind you of someone? The guy down there?
Jerking motions. Sign. You gave. You dominate. You will be superseded.
It is, baby, yeah. You know it.
Enough with this begging. You should leave the stage of his... Bring your troops to the Simenon Island.
You could internalize the best idea. Welcome. True, that is a noble cranium, but you got a...
You exhibit forward. It is important. This leads me to conclude. Your racial heritage is uninteresting. It is the same as all Rivasholians. Your parents and their parents made the decision to reproduce while under the influence of Al-Ghul. That is the only reason you are here. I am not...
You pick up on something artificial in his tone.
Find...
Interesting.
There must be some friction there. He's keeping it well hidden, however.
Mr. Clare, also, to serve is noble. It jam. Individualism. Offshoot. I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. The South, we are the future. I am a descendant. The narrow streets, no.
He would be appreciative if you did not further.
Yes.
This could have made him more open to discussing the race enigma with you.
I think
that will be the
He will grant.
Your Pete,
The loot.
you should keep him close. The congenital.
Ask what kind of races there are first. Classification is core to this stuff.
Do you? What thing?
You are up. There are 3 categories of race. Type A, the heroic races. Those are a receding genetic pool has led the mound. You know the
Mahoon is a derogative term. In some,
mound,
colorful tassels.
the vesper, the other law overproduction, as proven by the mound and the mask. The indigenous people of the indigenous people of this, the Areopagites, the Latin,
Nature was not capable of.
type
The Khoikhos of Grad, Yugo, Zhimsk, Shest et al.
yes. Pinkness is a racial quality that has to be earned through centuries of advanced ballistic warfare and cultural domination. The Khoiko.
Wouldn't he be one for ethnostates?
Its leaders will be Revacholians, halfway between.
Is it 82,000 years that we've been recording history? You have very little idea of what is happening, but that seems a little off.
The revolution came to Ravachol from Grad in Zaraz-ridden potato carts. It is literally an illness, a prion disease that leaves the parietal. The revolution is fatal familial. Enough of type mediocrity. Tips CF are a museum of failed chimeric experiments and tragic maladaptations. They are tortured creatures waiting to be put to sleep. Your morbid interest in them worries me. It would be cruel to entertain ourselves with their deformities. You understand nothing. To solve the great race enigma, you have to first ask yourself, what is the race enigma? You have not even worded the mystery, let alone solved it. Lost, though, buckled away at the last gate. This is why your haplogroup will... I cannot possibly imagine what else we have to discuss, Tibere Vacholian. Your love for disco music and venereal disease? There is nothing funky. I cannot possibly imagine what else we have to discuss, Tibere Vacholian. body.
Yeah.
Don't say anything. Size him up first.
That is, you reek of it. An invisible sword of Al-Ghul emerges from your throat. You cannot see it, but others can. It is making the woman in my company sick.
It's not good.
No, you
Show him that does this remind you of someone? The guy down there?
jerking motions, signs of a late-stage neurodegenerative disorder. How far the Occidental haplogroup has fallen. You gave the... You dominate. You will be...
It is, baby, yeah. You know it.
Enough with this begging. You should leave the stage of history with dignity by inviting the other races to a great world war. Bring your troops to the wall.
You could internalize Measurehead's race theory. It would enrich you rhetorically. Well, not as such. What you do with a mastery of advanced race theory is up to you. You could reject the findings, sure, or accept them and become an advanced racist. Go ahead, don't be shy. Just
Do not be naive. I know the answer to the group.
Its draw has not lessened since you were locked. You're back before the cargo container. Why? You're back before the cargo container. Why are you even trying to? You're back before the cargo container. Why are you even trying? You're back before the cargo container. Why are you? You're back before the cargo container. Despite the dirt that surrounds and trails you, a beacon of light, the door stands.
Satisfied, detective?
Try again. Just like that, you hear a click, then
Ahoy! Come on in!
You can't be serious.
the man stands at the far end of the shipping container. It's hard to say anything more about him. You cannot make out any of his details, but you do feel the overwhelming presence of Cabot. The feeling causes all the hairs on your body to stand at attention, like soldiers preparing for it. Something's amiss. The light beams bend around his face and scatter in 1,000. Trying to visualize the physics at play is liable to give you in the general stillness, only your tongue moves, flickering.
Welcome. Come in. Make yourself at home. Sorry, I'm not better able to receive you. I wasn't expecting visitors.
You can't hear him exactly, yet you're able to understand.
Now, what can I do for you, gentlemen? Who am I? Oh, I haven't been asked that question for such a long time. I don't meet a lot of people outside my circle these days. Anyhow, my name is Rustam Theodore, investor, license holder, and extremely high net worth individual. And you are?
Mr. Diodor, I am Lieutenant Kim Kitsuragi of the RCM, and this is my partner.
Pleasure to meet you, Harrier Dubois. I must admit, the name suits you very well.
Oh Lord, not this again. Oh, nothing. It's just that we've got this murder to solve, and yet you go around asking everyone about money. And every time I ask, are you sure this is related to the case, you say, and yet it never seems to get us any closer.
It's quite alright. I'm used to the question by now. To be blunt, I inherited my fortune from my grandmother, who her whole idea was take her fortune and invest it prudently. Believe it or not, it takes more than a bit of skill not to blow a vast fortune on sailing boats, bad choices, and unsupervised state policy. I gotta tell you, at first, being rich is a lot of work. You've got to work hard because everything's so darn expensive. You know, prices increase exponentially at this income level. But then, once you've reached my position, it's nearly impossible for me not to make money. Some of my lower net worth friends say to me, but doesn't that take all the fun out of it? And I tell them, not really. Sure, and they benefit when I buy things to stimulate the economy. Do you know how many jobs it takes to build and maintain a race? Dozens, at least. Of course, in the future, it will all be automated. But every man gets what he earns. It's the height of tyranny to take that from him. It is truly. It's almost entirely carefree.
Hey, all this talk about money has made you lose the thread. What is going on with the light in this place? That's what you...
What do you mean? Are you talking about my chin? Oh, that's what you mean. Yes, I've heard of this effect, though I've never witnessed it myself, of course.
The Weiss-Wieserman coefficient is a ratio designed to reflect the difference in net worth between individuals. When the coefficient is close to 1, or 100%, it means one person possesses all the net worth. Among that group of individuals, it's been observed that when the Weiss-Wieserman coefficient reaches about 0.96 or so, the laws of physics begin to bend around the high net worth. The Weiss-Wieserman coefficient for you and this 0.999, that's not good for you.
Among other things. But calm down. I'm but a lowly single-digit billionaire. No, not really. They're actually...
A man this chill is at least a triple digit.
I see nothing of the sort. To be frank, all I see is a gentleman who's unusually well dressed for Martinez. In a car.
Yes, I imagine that does look strange to you. My container. Traveling. This is a great way to get around. By the way, let me now ask you a question. Where are we exactly? Oh, interesting. I've made quite a... It's a shame I can't get out and explore myself. One of the downsides of being an extremely high net worth individual is that mobs of low net worth individuals are constantly banding together to ask for money. There simply aren't enough hours a day to hand out all the handouts. It's like feeding seagulls. They're all spending money is a matter of desire. I'm sure you agree. Smart, you know? It also provides a means to hide from all the targeted advert luxury yachts, high-fidelity portable radio systems, bail-proof outerwear, and so on. It just gets a bit Middle class after a while. A bit bourgeois. What? No, I did not say that at all. Being rich is great. Just don't go.
Could you please stop asking people for money? It does not reflect well on the RCM, and to be perfectly frank, we can't afford to look worse than we already do.
It's perfectly alright. Based on your appearance, as you may know, us high net worth individuals do not have a lot of cash on hand. Investments and liquidity, here is 3 real. How much can you get for this? You're welcome. You know, maybe you can make that money grow. Come up with an...
These ultra-liberal types love losing huge sums of money on ludicrous proposals. Ergo, you should come up with a plan that's totally dead in the water.
Thanks for stopping. Welcome back, gentlemen. What can I do for you? Welcome back, gentlemen. What can I do for you? Welcome back, gentlemen. What can I do for you?
If
Welcome back, gentlemen.
business planning were
Welcome back, gentlemen. What?
if business
Welcome back, gentlemen.
if business
Welcome back, gentlemen.
if business planning were really your
Welcome back, gentlemen. What can I do?
if business planning deploying high-concept buzzword generator, or it's time to disrupt the future. You've got to stay lean, innovative, and focus on what matters most: the children.
A youth center, huh?
A place to train buff kids, a place to teach them practical skills. Like, come on, tell him what he wants to hear.
Brilliant. Without children, who'll be there to buy stuff in the future? When life closes a door, it opens a window, yes? What's the expected return on this?
You're deep into ultra-liberal territory.
Very impressive. You've got a natural eye for unusual investment opportunities. I don't normally do this without a formal pitch deck, but to hell with it. Here's the round of seed funding. This should be enough to prove out the concept and get things off the ground. Remember, it's not a handout.
The lieutenant stands there, dumbfounded. Is he having a stroke?
Yes, I'm alright. Can we get going now?
Now, was there anything else I could help you, Jen?
The white ceramic cuirass hugs your torso, shielding your movements cause tiny little clicks, like dice rolling somewhere far away, as the plates reorient to your motions. The hardened vitreous enamel, at once sleek and voluptuous, adds a glow to your cheeks, and you really do feel more confident. Invulnerability does that. Even partial invulnerability. Remember, this is a highly specialized kinetic redistributor meant to stop bullets. Wear it. Observe its for the day you have to fight someone covered.
Mr. Dubois, every worker That's right, Mr. Dubois. I see the socialist democratic fervor now burns in your heart, too. How can I help you today? I'm very glad to hear that, Harry. One question. You didn't actually happen to stumble in and see what's inside the apartment, did you?
He's trying to figure out if you're lying. There is no way to sway this man in any direction. He is unsuggestible and unswayable. Just tell the truth.
Just as I thought. Culturally antiquated bug collection. What a weasel. Pissing on Everart's Rainbow Coalition.
He was testing you, and you succeeded.
Now let's get down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. Real police work is gonna start happening now. By now, I'm sure you've figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys. Wild Pines. Sent to scare us. Another violent measure of Harry. This strike is the culmination of many, many mistakes made by the Wild Pines group.
You mean our victim?
A security contractor? Can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful protest, united in the spirit of fellowship.
He performs a motion as if spraying.
I'm talking beasts. Hardened killers from proxy wars in Yisut, Semenine, Saramaritsa. You name it, they've done it. Raping, killing, burning villages, killing little children for the Senorita Pineapple Company, Harry. Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Revachol into a third world slum. Honestly, the only thing they didn't do is kill the village elephant. Now, I haven't personally witnessed the brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container, you see. If I need to go somewhere, they just move my container. About my fun container? It's a hoot, Harry. Who knows? Maybe you'll be in here the next time they move it. It will be very... But enough about me and my container. The killers the company hired, I think there were 3 of them. All one of them got downright suicidal. Getting drunk, violent, a little rapey. Even their own negotiator couldn't control him. That's your boy. The one who likes hanging out.
By negotiator, you mean?
Harry, what you need to realize is, we dock workers are not pushovers. We got grit, Harry. This whole neighborhood does. Push us hard enough and we push back. And when we do, we push to kill. There's a militant wing inside the Union. A group of people whose duties don't involve manual labor.
That sounds a bit like...
They're like you guys. Idealistic people who want to make sure bad things don't happen.
Again, that sounds...
So these idealists...
One day Titus Hardy, leader of this peacekeeping faction, comes up to me and says, "Boss, socialist democratic fervor drove us to take it up." He probably worded it differently, but that was the idea. Sure sounded to me like they killed him. I gave them 2 weeks paid leave.
Aren't you worried we might arrest them for...
Oh, I'm not at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested. They're Martinez boys, tough and gritty. I'd like to see the man who takes them in. Besides, I sent my lawyer girl to look up...
If he's just boasting, then it sure doesn't feel like that to you. He's not worried.
So they shot him.
He was shot in the head before he...
How odd. I don't know what to say, Lieutenant. They told me they hanged him. A hanged man...
It's impossible to say if he's telling the truth, sire.
What I do know is, the case is in safe hands. If anyone can get to the bottom of this shot and hanged man, it's my two little policemen. Godspeed, policeman. How do I know? Let me tell you about these people. That's their MO. It's what they do. Last winter, some poor workers in Terminal E went on a little strike. The company sent in Sediment, a security contractor. The strike was... These guys turn up and start beating people. Tell you what, Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same mercenary company, after a little rebranding. And I'm sure as hell not surprised to see an army of scabs under my gates.
So you believe the scabs were organized by the security contractor?
You said it. Hell, one of those guys looks big enough to take down that proverbial elephant. Boys like that don't just happen to show up during strikes. Of course. You're always one step ahead of me, Harry. I'm no genius. I'm in this position because people like me. Tribunal? That sounds serious, Harry. We Union men should be shitting ourselves. I wish you hadn't told me that. I'm gonna lose sleep over this.
He's clearly happy about the tribunal.
Oh, Harry, what do I really think about the tribunal? You're trying to climb to second base with old Everard before you've even courted him properly.
He wants you to do more things for him before.
Oh, Liz is a bright one. I paid for that law degree myself, thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy. But hell, Harry, she came back a firebrand socialist. Sometimes she scares me with hers. Oh, they are simply fine young men, all 7 of them. Exemplary union members. Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the reins and named the group after himself. Gotta love his initiative.
Interesting. Who's second in command?
They're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Whatever happened, work with them. Hell, interview them. But don't fight them. They really are just like you. Men who like beer, women, and some order on the streets. But of course, it's the least I can do for my good friend Harry. I'll do it right.
You can now go and tell Titus about this.
Also, Harry, here's 5 real. Oh, I wasn't offering it to you, just holding it out there. But I'm willing to share information. Was it a good talk? I'm not sure we made much headway here. I was hoping we'd bust the case wide open. Heck, I even wanted to tell you what I really want to achieve with the strike. I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like Mr. Martinez. And, of course, I also wanted you to find your gun. But it's like I can't completely trust you. Yes, Harry. It's like I can't fully trust you if you're not a man of the left.
A man of the left. So you have to be as he's been hurt too much in the past by men who aren't social democrats.
You're saying it, but I don't believe you. You know how it is, company snitching.
And what would this entail?
Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need to get 2 little signatures on this piece of paper. And then...
It depends. I don't think what we just got from Mr. Clare was very useful.
But, he thinks, it's you.
As I said, it weighs on me heavily. But once we get really talking, well, I'm gonna hand you the keys to Martinez. And maybe even help you figure out who's behind this killing.
He's saying as little as possible as vaguely as he can.
I'm glad you asked, Harry. The Union is going to build a modern youth centre in Martinez. It will be righteous. We're gonna get those teenagers off drugs and on roller skates. There's a nameless little street on the coast with some old houses around it. Most people have already signed. I just need 2 more signatures to get this mission off the ground, Harry. Yes, the little cul-de-sac on the coast, where all the men have drowned, in either the sea or the bottle. They are just gonna have to deal with the construction noise for 6 months, and then they'll be living like...
Is he absolutely sure the tenants won't be thrown out in the street?
Am I? Harry, these people... Martinez is the most important thing in my life. I would never let... We're gonna build a youth centre there. The value of their properties goes up, and kids have a place to play in. I'm looking out for these people, not pulling the rug from under them, Harry. I'm looking out for all of Martinez, not just the harbour.
He means it.
You bring joy to my heart, Harry. You need to get signatures from Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. The cul-de-sac is right past the pawn shop and across the canal. Once you have the signatures, mail this to 13022 La Rocca in La Delta. Then I'll know you're a solid socialist. I don't know what that means, Harry, but I love it. I love your initiative. Knowing you're out there, don't even tell me what was going on. Alcoholic brew, stronger, stopped it, strike. I'm just gonna let you surprise me, Harry. See you soon. Mr. Dubois, every worker, member of the board. You've got a lot of spirit clearing up the drug problem alongside this murder. I'll talk to the mayor and see if I can get you the key.
Actually, Revachol doesn't have a... He refuses to discuss it further. Not even a speck of anger in his voice. That's that then.
Mega rich light bending guy? Oh my god. How did that get in there? Damn it to hell, Harry. I specifically told my guys to check all the containers for mega-rich light-bending guys.
There was a guy in the container, but he didn't bend any...
Honestly, guys, we might be moving all kinds of suspicious things through this harbour, but I won't be caught transporting the light-bending mega-rich. I have a reputation to protect. You're right, Harry. I am a socialist. I'm going to catch the mega-rich guy inside the... I shudder to think what you're going...
Not for 1 second did he believe there's an actual mega-rich person somewhere in his container town.
What gentleman?
The tear machines, your bottles clunk. The speakers below are banged up and worthless. The sneakers triumph over them. They're the star of the show here.
Super cool! Now the premium life.
The sneakers seem to vibrate in your hands with an
The junk is yours, officer. Happy listening. Try not to hurt your. You keep coming back.
save the economy. That sounds.
The shine on these sunglasses lasts a lifetime, officer. 100% a man who knows his style. Much respect.
Rust peels off the bent iron posts of the swing. The wind whistles, yet someone used to live here, laugh here.
In this yard?
He's assessing the situation.
Someone thought they could have a summer house in a bloc obscur, for cheap. It didn't work out. They abandoned it about a decade ago. A black bloc, a part of the city left unrenovated after the war, or one that has fallen to gang violence.
On aerial photos, block obscures look like dark squares, hence
Practically, it's not an official term in any way, but look around. No sewage, broken power lines, crime, drunks. Life is tough in the...
A metal payphone under a yellow plastic dome. You could use... You hear the tone. The machine is inoperable. Calling. Still, this feels wrong. End of tone. Someone...
Pierre? Is that you, Pierre? So nice of you to find the time to call me. It gets so lonely. Even the animals have died. Are you sure you're Pierre?
Her voice is drowned in white noise. Sounds like wave. You get a sinking feeling. It makes you look if Lieutenant Kitsuragi overheard you. Someone has left an unidentifiable article of clothing on this railing. It smells really. It's streaked with dried seagull shit and tangled with pieces of seaweed. A dangling arms. It seems likely that it was left in the surf until someone laid it out on this fence to dry out. Unfortunately, that just seemed...
Please tell me you're not taking that with you. I'm sure he'll be thrilled to have it returned.
The smell. It's awful and familiar. Don't be naive. Don't you recognize it? That hideous pungency, that faintly cloying sweetness. Only death smells like that. Something cold wakes in. It is death. It must be. The lieutenant has already... There's some tear, an empty cigarette package, and a crumpled kebab wrapper in the trash bin. 2 empty bottles of Tallulah vodka and a can of black... No, there's more in there. Livis strawberry liquor, plus some pills.
A tragedy.
shakes his head with genuine sadness. Whoever tossed it here was a heavy smoker. Red Astra is the black market version of Astra cigarettes, known for their height. You see traces of mayonnaise and ketchup on it, as well as a tomato wedge. The wrapper reads, "It's no older than a day," or "It's hard to concentrate in the smell." A man lies on the boardwalk, his limbs bent and neck turned at an unnatural angle. Right next to him is an empty bottle of spirits. In his cramped hand, a chewing gum wrapper. Half of his body has slipped between the cracked boardwalk, starting with the right leg. The smell is not as bad as a 2-week-old cold.
Hold on. Lividity is faintly pronounced. Whoever this is has been dead for 2 days. No longer. We need to investigate.
Another dead body. Calm now. Carefully. Just another day. He's wearing mud-caked boots, beige trousers, and an old brown leather jacket with a bright blue light. The leather jacket suits him well. It must be custom made. You find some sunflower seeds and a rain-soaked library card folded into...
Good. We should take a look at that library card after this is done.
There's some dried blood on the metal bench, right where the corpse's head rests. The floorboards are rotten and slippery wet around the hole. An empty bottle lies nearby. A chewing gum wrapper is clutched in his fist. A dried chunk of blood covers the hair at the back of his head.
I don't see any other major wounds, do you? Seems like the head wound was fatal. It's exactly the shape of the bench.
They screech under your feet ominously. It's hard to say whether the dead man... You see waves churning below. He could have easily disappeared into the sea through that hole, and you would have never found him. A .75 liter Tallulah vodka with its cap missing.
Tear all around us. I'd prefer if you didn't collect them this time. It's not proper.
True. It feels disrespectful. Grabowski spearmint chewing gum. Green leaves on the cover. The man's mouth is half agape. The blackness of death. Stench.
He ate the whole pack, right? It's to cover the smell of alcohol before go. I've seen it before. Almost the same scenario. Even the chewing gum. It's always the same.
The entire board, the man has fallen through a crack in the boardwalk and hit his head against the metal bench. A bad fall. It might have been dark outside. This place is His expression is dull, like the sea behind him. Drops of water shining on his height, 170 to 175 centimeters. Curly hair. He was confused when he died. Confused and alone, most likely. Overcome with...
Looks like one of the locals. He'd have to know this spot to come here. You don't just walk over. But that's just a lazy assumption.
This is an omen, a sign from above. Don't start drinking again.
We do know that he was married. But you're right. Let's not run ahead. For now, all we know is that he's an unidentified middle-aged man. Death by misadventure. He slipped and fell through the boardwalk. A truly unfortunate accident. If it wouldn't have been for that bench, he'd be alive. They'll seal this place off after the news reaches the coalition officials. I doubt that they have enough resources to actually repair the bomb. Not that sealing it off would keep anyone away. All it does is keep the city council's hands clean. Oh yes. Some symptoms of acute alcohol poisoning could have definitely played a role here. Severe confusion, but I think that death arrived through head trauma, not liver failure. No, I don't see anything that points in that direction. For now, let's treat this case.
Agreed. If this somehow converges late...
What about it? The deceased ate some kebab. It's probably from an...
Sometimes a kebab is just a kebab.
It does seem to be a pretty straightforward misadventure. From where I stand, I can see two options. We either take the case and follow the leads to identify the body on our own, or we report back to the station and leave this for our colleagues to handle. Alright, we should first examine the library card you found. Then we can call the station from my kinem.
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with. You officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez? I'm Tran Heilostam. You must be Kim Kituragi, right? I was just telling my son about this building. Not a lot of people realize the historic significance.
Nice to meet you.
No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers. Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into Worms lately.
The man speaks in the artificial cadence of a professor, or someone who's been on too many radio shows.
But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the coalition landed in '08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark.
This man is your half-brother. You feel it. But, well, get a load of this guy. He really enjoys his trivia. The Orbis programming language was named after its inventor, Victor Orbis, a cybernetician from Grad. They run Vox in the Occidental countries.
Aha! But it's not just any empty old building. What not a lot of people know is, this used to be the R&D department of Felt Electrical. And Felt, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn-of-the-century cybernetics boom.
Hold on. What's R&D?
Apologies, it's an acronym for research and development. They don't use it anymore. You're probably more familiar with RTD.
Mea culpa. You are not familiar with that one either. This man is a bookhead. It looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of the collapsed rooftop.
That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remained. They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emerging personal electronics market of the pre-revolutionary era. Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Feld had an ace up their sleeve, or should I say they were developing an ace up their sleeve? I'm mixing my metaphors here. It was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for an elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution, revolutionizing business machines, possibly even bring them to the average consumer, which is a feat of engineering even today's giants, Rhein, ICN and ZAM, haven't...
He assumes something like a combat stance, facing the...
Indeed. What?
The revolution!
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes, possibly from this very building, or one of the adjacent ruins. All of this was built by Feld, even the boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D. Yes, they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed in the war.
A pleasure wheel?
Perhaps reminded of a childhood memory. It's clear he would prefer there were a big wheel.
Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of living here attractive. It was supposed to become a global center for innovation in cyber... Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you...
He means that the boys got shot by the communists. The boys were bourgeois.
Tape computers. They used them for military communications, but also to write and send out press releases, the most notorious example being Le Décret de Mars. What's the Mars Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent out to news agencies and world governments by the newly created commune of Revachol on the 7th...
A short-lived legislative foundation.
It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album, Bon Baiser dans le Lind. You should read it. Every local... I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. Tried to. Someone was much too interested in worms to be paying any attention.
The kid takes a peek at the green and silver worm on the cover of the book, already forgetting about this part of the discussion.
Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like. But word has it, they were very elegant, exquisite, alien-looking turn-of-the-century hardware.
Buckle up.
10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition at the Wompty Dumpty Dum Center in Vredefort, Oranje. It raised the same questions, and we had lengthy discussions with Paul Ockerman, who was head curator at the time. This was before...
Wait, did he just say Wompty Dumpty Dum? He did it. He said Wompty Dumpty Dum Center. What the hell is a Wompty Dumpty Dum Center? And who the hell are Keith and Guy Joost?
The Wompty Dumpty Dum Center for Contemporary Arts. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Ockerman, chose to... In fact, I'm not. The Wompty Dumpty Dum Center is a place you can visit if you're ever in Vredefort and are ever in the market for an exhibition space, but perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write directly on the tape using a special chemical solution. The machine would then analyze the...
Made of black film and folding tape structures.
Very, very cool. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to this precious device. But so they did. The Felt... Yes, the official name of the prototype. Some sources report it as the Felt playback. Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hands. Either way, they're all gone now. But of course, what else? No, thanks to you for having me in, little Mikhail here.
Pick your brain. If anything, this was rather once. You see, a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled off over the years, but you can still make out Feld Electrical R&D. A slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now, only a shadow of peeled letters remains. It says, tomorrow...
Looks like tomorrow never came.
You've checked.
Tequila sunset. Ah, tequila. I knew you'd come through. Let me see. What? This isn't my jacket. My jacket was beautiful. This is fucking filthy. What am I supposed to do with this? I'm not taking a disgusting pile of hobo rags. Either bring it back the way it was before, or find it...
You know, despite the guano, it looks like the jacket itself is stain resistant. It may just need a good scrubbing.
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. What can I help you with? I can wash it for you. But it's going to take...
Hell yeah. No, we must run around ceaselessly.
I could use a breather. It's been another track and field day.
Well, hand it over then. Must say, I'm proud of this one. It's pretty nice underneath all that filth. I hope you take better care of it than its last owner. Eh? What's this about? Come now, I can't read all this scribble. Tell me what it says. Huh, I might be half blind, but it looks like part of the village is gonna be a street. The best part, the part we need to get out of our houses. Have you asked Lillian about this? I won't even consider some.
Tequila sunset. My jacket?
A look of consternation crosses the man's face. He looks at...
What the fuck are you talking about, Tequila? Faum? That's medium concept stuff, not my style at all.
It becomes abundantly clear to you how this man managed to lose his keys, business, friends, and I'm calling it. It's neurological.
That shit is so medium concept, I wouldn't touch it with a stick. But yeah.
It's an okay jacket, if you're into that look. Okay, let's... I've been meaning to have a little chat with you about your sense of style. It's just, well, you look more like a high-flying businessman than a...
That's right. You're an entrepreneur of the peace, here to disrupt legacy law enforcement with buzzwords and privatization schemes.
Then maybe you should change your look. You know the expression, the clothes make the man? The right outfit in the right situation can make all the difference in the world. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
A warm smile.
Anyway, we should probably get back to the case.
Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon. I can feel it. The wind is turning southeast. What's on your mind, officer? Oh, that's good to know, I guess. Why is it in the sea? That's great. Until then, you should maybe start thinking about the funeral.
Sire, she doth not believe it wasn't you.
Aye. Feels deserved, don't you think? Falling in the line of duty like that and all. Why odd? Our things are a part of our life world. They're made with our human sweat and they share...
Life world? Someone's been reading up on last century Gotvaldian philosophers. Play it cool now.
Oh yeah? You won't even be able to get it out of the water before early June. And where are you going to bury it? Who to invite? What music? Take it from someone who's been through a few funerals. It's easiest to just leave them there and...
That's all we have time for right now anyway. Come back here in June and see how you feel about it then. It's not like it's going anywhere. Yes, that is a pity. But for now, let's focus on the things we do get to do. Like the murder investigation.
You like the Capri funeral idea? You take the legal documents out of the envelope, a 12 to 40 month construction period, and the zoning plan in the addendum.
I'm no property lawyer, but it looks fine. I like the print size. They're not selling or leasing anything. It's not a perfect solution, but...
How else are you going to build something? It's always inconvenient to build things. And citizens, the youth center cuts into the ocean like the bow of some great modern ship. Apparently, it's going to be awfully close to the already existing buildings. Almost. This is either an ominous, my money is on cool. Looks like a cubic pyrite. There is no loophole. The simple truth is, the current residents are going to lose their street access, and for the next 12 to 40 months, their lives will be dominated by constant construction noise.
I should have seen it. Evrard probably has eyes on us, but we could try to get other people to sign this instead of those listed. Or you could forge their signatures yourself. By the time he finds out, we'll already be gone.
You take the legal documents out of the envelope. A 12 to 40 month construction period. With a confident flourish, you complete your forgery. What do you see on the signature? Indeed, they look distinctly different and very convincing. These might as well, but they're not. And the document will be nullified if they dispute it. That means Everard will have to start over. All you need to do now is mail the signature. There was a mail delivery box in the plaza, near the The dented yellow mailbox greets you with its graffito and bullet holes in the front.
Yes, for sending mail.
You drop the white envelope in the darkness. About a week's worth of mail as collect probably did the right thing. You can't trust that slug, Everard.
Alright, let's go back to Everard. If we don't mention anything to him, he won't know before it's too late.
Mr. Dubois, every worker, member of the board. How can I help you today? The Golden Boy returns once more. Wonderful. Simply wonderful, Harry. Of course, my friend, the mailman, confirms the letter is on its way. You've done a great thing today. You've given the children of Martinez a future. You're in my inner circle. You too, Mr. Kitsuragi. We can talk about anything. The strike, the murder, your lost gun. Nothing is off the...
Well done, sire. By guile and deceit, you're in.
Harry, I've got to be honest with you. Your gun was found 2 days ago. Withholding this information weighed heavily on me. But it had to be done. An old woman has it, and let me tell you, Harry, word on the street is she's a character.
This must be the woman who bought the gun from Roy. The one he described as...
Yes, the same one. I see you've done your research. The pawn shop made the gun easy to track. Crazy stuff, Harry. Selling your gun like...
Union Boy's gonna help you fix it. He winks at you.
The neighbors of this old woman contacted my men because they trust me and the Debardeurs Union. Apparently, she was waving it around at the entrance to her building.
Waving the gun around doesn't sound good. None of this does.
As I said, she's a character. I didn't have time for details. It sounds like she's unstable, but...
It sounds like a very disturbed and desperate.
Unfortunately, I don't know anymore. You're gonna have to go in blind, Harry. But she's an old lady. How...
There it is again. The pigs.
I, for one, find it refreshing. Finally, someone calls themselves a pig.
It actually sounds extremely bad, but let's not give him the satisfaction.
I already have. Tonight, starting 10 o'clock, near the old fish market on the coast. The one on the boardwalk, a little past the fishing village. Be careful, Harry. I would never set you up for anything dangerous, but you did ask for this. Now...
She will be there from 2200 hours till 0200 hours.
More fun stuff. Seems like we already have fun stuff to do.
Great, Harry, great. I think we have truly built a bridge between Martinez and Jamrock. This has been so great. I'm sorry we don't have more fun things to do together. But if you ever feel like bouncing something off me, my door is always open.
The theme on that pinball machine is a standard royalist theme, used on everything from pinball cab, clinging to a picture book version of the past century, waiting for the king to come back and cast out all the profiteers and homosexuals. Basically, imagine a yellow plastic crown with a liquor brand emblazoned on it. It comes free with a six-pack of Vermilion Roy d'Or. The words Roy d'Or are stamped into the crown's plastic. The sentiment is called anti-centennial nostalgia, pining for a time.
I've got nothing to say to you. Why are you wasting your time? I am not.
You could be, Liz. You could be anything. You could even be...
Even a mod? Glenn, I went to law school.
He's right. With a face like that, she could be on the cover of Le Debutante International. The cold look in her eyes speaks louder than words. It's not her. She's not a hardy girl. Definitely.
It's you again. What is it? Oh, so you went and talked to my mommy, and now she's...
And what's gonna happen if we don't? You gonna go and tell on us? You gonna let him talk to me like that, Titus?
Let's see. The old man sent word you'd be around again. That's the reason I'm being so forthcoming with you. Don't wear it out.
But having Everard back you up like that did seem to have some effect.
Fuck! I knew that fucking whore couldn't be trusted.
You've hit a nerve. Titus is furious. No, more than that.
For the record, Titus Hardy did not explicitly specify the victim as a...
Oh, shut up and stay out of this, Liz. He raped her. He was out of his fucking mind.
She's just in denial, asshole. You don't understand the traumatic experience.
Yeah, she's crazy, you know. A crazy bitch. You know the type.
This is a diversion. Stay on track.
She wasn't raped. The witnesses' statements were very clear.
Lawman, I'm at the end of my...
His hands become fists.
And you went and pushed her.
Hit you. Duck.
Titus Hardy!
Success. Titus back. Goddamn, no one tells you to put your...
Everard personally sent me to take care of this. If this goes south, we'll all be in the...
When she's angry, she emphasizes the S. It gives her voice a strangely hypnotic quad. Frankly, it's a bit... Someone has to rush in to break the tension. The second in command.
Look, Copper. We know that that fuck was a rapist and a killer. We got him confessing to it on tape. Show it to him, T. What's the harm, right?
Here, jerkwad. Listen to this shit. And then come back and tell me the soldier of the apocalypse was an innocent man.
This is their last play, this tape. Their story is in tatters, a mess. It might be nice to listen to, but at this point, you don't need to.
You think we go into this shit deaf and dumb? You RCM aren't the only ones who know how to bug people. There's no university degree for that. We have machines. We're in logistics. How do you think a harbor works?
Understood? You've listened in on their
Since way before their chief started taking swing lessons.
Things got nice and quiet after that.
It's not advanced. You just hold up in a coop all day, writing.
Don't put yourself down, Angus. It's important work.
Yeah, man. You're like a radio genius or something. Those notes are some in-depth stuff. Indexes and shit.
What's on it? We call it the door gun a mega mix. You'll know why once you listen to it. Don't forget your tape, lawman. Compliments of Titus Hardy. You do that. Oh, and keep it. Maybe you'll need a reminder of human ugliness someday. Yeah, by friends, you mean his
Wouldn't want to beat up his grandma.
This is what happens if you take the law into your own hands.
Let them come. The Hardy boys are right fucking here.
You heard the man. Right here. We're armed. We got the whole district behind us. And Glenn. Glenn is fucking crazy.
Yeah. A well-oiled murder machine.
The mood is on the rise. They're feeling confident, ready to punch out the whole Merc platoon.
We got weapons of our own. We got Ister 50s, Zeelagers. Glenn's got a knock cannon at home. I guess we're gonna...
That was an unsure phrasing.
Right about what? That a 50 caliber bullet goes through shit? Yeah, I am. So are the local gangs. The fucking Barmy Army and the Madre scum. You've been out there. Seen any around? Yeah. What are they now, huh?
These people are trained military professionals with decades of combat experience.
No, they're not. They're uncoordinated and drunk. Don't forget, we're listening in on their communications. Big fucking surprise. What do you mean, okay? No, they won't. Get out of here.
He really doesn't like you ruffling their feathers like...
All he means is that the situation is serious.
No wonder you cops get shot to shit every day. Can't go to war with an attitude like that. You still on about that bullet?
Indeed. Mighty. How...
Well, there are so many bullets. I guess it's on little out. It's bound to happen again, you know? Just statistically.
Sire, it would be an event most dramatic if you were to produce the bullet and dangle it before their very eyes.
Wow! He's got it in a real evidence!
Why don't you go home and log it into evidence? These men have told you what happened.
Shit! I probably did shoot him. I was drunk last night. You guys know...
Yeah, Glenn likes to shoot his guns when he's drunk. Better hope...
No, he meant before he was hacked.
Before? After? During? This is getting ridiculous. They told you what happened.
Never been worried in my life.
It's not like he blew it wide open, but there's a little crack in there, somewhere.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can... Yeah, we still have those boomboxes on the shelves.
The boomboxes wait on the shelves, and your boombox, that gold and amber Harmon Waushi, stares. The boomboxes wait on the shelves.
And here you are. Quality sound reproduction on the go. It'll play...
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here. Just an ordinary wall. Just an ordinary wall. Nothing. You have no. Just an ordinary wall. You have no clue. 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 Just an ordinary wall. Because this is no ordinary wall. It is sublime. Look at it. The shadows. All the other walls on all the other houses must make a pilgrimage in adoration of this.
O Wallfather.
Huh? He sounds tired of it all.
Sure. I suppose we have to pass by it again at some point anyway.
The streets will flow red once more, a great torrent rushing down Rue de Esperance. You wait and see.
The streets will not flow red with anything. Who are you?
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C. Had a battery of tests just last week. I'm practically a patchwork of interesting critters. Kinda like a manor.
She's grown frustrated with her work and welcomes the opportunity to challenge authority in other ways. The lieutenant is desperately searching for another handkerchief. Hatred, disgust, it's difficult to... The woman on the boat does not...
That Ozon whore. Someone's gotta keep an eye on her.
Ozon is an archipelago 2 days' travel away from Rivershot. Its moneyed residents used to posh restaurants and upscale boutiques.
On a first-name basis with her, are we? Piggy's moving up in the world. Have you got a crush on her? Aching for an opportunity to defend her honor? Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful mural. I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words. Yeah? Thanks. I'm sure.
She means the opposite. You've lessened her desire to deface the building.
I ain't no snitch, Pigstein.
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal, calm...
We weren't put on this earth to make your life What for? Well, if it's for art. But what kind of art are we talking about? Sounds like you're just about to live out your self-pity, not make a statement. I can't have shit art on my conscience. Yeah, not gonna hold my breath, Piggy. You look like you'd suck. Watch your back.
Gendarmerie, you found me.
His slender figure is backlit by city lights. It feels like a Friday. He seems to be in a good mood tonight.
Beautiful. So tell me, are you here to make things right again? Beautiful. I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting. That's why I chose this place. Martinez is special, isn't it?
Wait. Suddenly you're digging things?
Yeah, it does feel like the end of the week. Even the rain feels nice. That's nice, but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you...
He takes another drag of his unfiltered... Downstairs, a cat crosses...
Besides, I've got to run.
He's going to leave you alone. Something tells you you're never going to talk to an individual this cool or mysterious ever again.
Just look at it. It's a beautiful night. Who's going to stay in on a night like this?
Something flutters in the corner of the lieutenant's mouth.
We'll talk. Just not tonight. Take care, alright?
And he's gone again. Looks like it's becoming a theme for him.
Different, of course. His shirt. His shirt.
He's trying to dive deep into...
His shirt. No, I don't know why his shirt is always unbuttoned.
He's barely holding it together. It's...
Come on, detective, let's go. We've got a potential witness to...
Officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia.
You shouldn't be seeing him in an intimate setting. For some reason you feel this man is your superior, but he's not in the command chain. His hands are clean and well manicured.
My name is Charles Vildrouin, and I am an official with the coalition government. I work for the Institute of Price Stabilité on assignment from Sur-Lac. I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I am here to assist you in any way possible. Ask me about the hanging.
No, first ask an innocuous personal question to get the interview off on the right foot. Yes, make it clear you're the one setting the terms here.
Oh, we got it from an atelier in the East Delta Commerce Center. Personally, I think it's a little culturally insensitive. That's really all I can tell you about it.
That didn't work at all. The lieutenant takes out his notebook and nods to you to proceed.
The coalition is only looking out for the price stability. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease blocking the normal circulation of the economy. It must be controlled. The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight. Well, I'm renovating it. It is an interesting project. The building used to be a 12-story skyscraper before the cannons took the top 4 stories off. This, of course, happened when the coalition forces landed. You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the international community caused when we arrived here. Yes, as I said before, I am a commissioner from Sur-Lac working for the Institute of Price Stability.
Wait, there isn't actually an Institute of Price Stability, is there? Or maybe there is. God, it's impossible to understand whether someone from the moral intern is joking or not.
It's the International Organization for Moralists, hence Moralist International. The Institute of Price Stability is just one of its many mind babies, as is the coalition.
There are more nefarious powers to work for than the moral intern.
But of course. Well, do you value freedom? Do you believe in a normal, stable world governed by democratic values?
Me?
You've managed to catch the lieutenant off guard, but only for a...
I'm a lieutenant of the RCM, dedicated to maintain...
A very moralist answer.
The lieutenant is practiced in the art of putting on a show for one's superiors.
The Occident is part of the normal world. Oranje... Martinez? No. Martinez is... Revachol is generally difficult. It's led by an interim, but they are working towards it. You're all doing very well here, relatively speaking. Is this option D usually the most reasonable answer? Sounds like you're a moralist indeed, my friend. Moralism is all about compromise and achieving the achievable. It's pragmatic, realistic, and level-headed, an ideology for doers. Are you a doer, my friend? It looks to me like you are. Now, enough of this delightful political interlude. Was there anything else you wanted to add? It is the most important thing. It's the central goal of any sound monetary policy. Maintaining the price stability is essential to maintaining high level, which is essential for maintaining...
Basically, it makes sure the price of bread doesn't change.
Précisément. Too much inflation, bread becomes too expensive. Too much deflation, it becomes too cheap for bakers to produce. That's why the Institute of Price Stability works to keep inflation just below 2%. But not too far below, no. Too below is also bad. Below. But close. The coalition believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits of the price stability. A sound monetary policy is essential for addressing uncertainty. Stability is... But oh, I don't have my leaflets on me today. That's too bad. You can always call our information line. Making information available is part of the Moral Intern's commitment to... What's there to say? Sur-la-Clé is a modern, urbanized country that measures very high on the Human Development and Freedom Index. Moreover, it is a great sponsor of less emerged countries. Revachol...
Darling, that can't be an official designation.
Because a great percentage of Revachol's culture hails from Sur-la-Clé. Its language, its people, its cuisine even. Or at least in the downtown La Delta area.
Jamrock and other parts of the international zone have been mercifully spared of Sur-la-Clé's love for meatballs and mashed potatoes.
La communauté internationale is what Revacholians colloquially call the coalition. In other words, the nations that stopped the disaster of the revolution. Oranje is an exemplary nation who, as a core member of EPIS, contributes 28% of our annual budget. Next to Sur-la-Clé, Oranje is probably the most prominent member of the international. As founding members, they are both very EPIS. Oranje carries a lot of political weight, while Sur-la-Clé takes care of the business side of things. Oranje's economy is one of the most advanced in the world. It has successfully transitioned from heavy industry to advanced services and generally acts as an engine for sustainable change in the...
But that didn't tell you anything about Oranje.
About what? Oh, it's very urban and very well organized. Their streets are clean, their horse cars run on time, the people are polite and efficient. Like I said, they are an example, whatever you wish, officer. I'm sorry to say I did, officer. Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I saw that night. It was so...
He holds out his hands and blossoms his fingers, like a...
What do you mean, like in a play?
It was just so strange. I could barely comprehend. I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they came in, carrying what looked like a body. And then that's when I understood.
Sounds like the victim was unconscious, or at least incapacitated. Interesting.
I couldn't tell you exactly.
The lieutenant sends you a sharp look at the mention of that number.
That's a giant you're describing. No, they were all quite human, as far as I could tell. Drummers? Why, no. But then...
I think we can drop the drummer angle. That was my bad.
I went back inside.
Were you able to see anything from inside?
Officer, the yard was pitch black. There was nothing to see, but I could still hear their voices. They all men, I presume. But again, I couldn't...
But we are fairly certain the lady driver was present.
It's possible, officer, but I cannot say with certainty. It was very dark, you must remember. Well, that's the strangest part, officer. Nothing happened. It was oddly quiet for a public lynching. Eventually, their shouts died down, and that was all. There were no gunshots, no celebratory shouts, no anything. I'm afraid I don't have anything else.
About what time was all this happening?
All I can say is that it was late. My watch. Yes, now I remember. It was 30 minutes past midnight, give or take. No, I didn't see the corpse until the following day. Of course, anything I can do to assist the artist. Ah, my friend. My friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra, and life has not been easy for him. But he understands the importance of education. He has taken his future into his own hand. How did any of us become friends? Bad things happening on the Insulindian Isola? Oil platforms ablaze in the night? Civil wars lasting for years? Finally, the international community is forced to step. Au contraire, it's how millions of people end up where they are, meeting the people they meet. It's how I came here, and my friend too. Sorry, who? But I told you, officer, he's a bright young man here to pursue his education. Education is the foundation of... Officer, you have to understand. I can't give you his personal information. I'm sure you have your own... He's deeply enmeshed in the study of the fine arts, yes. He's a truly free spirit. He likes all the arts. Perhaps graphic design, printmaking, who knows? The world is open wide. I'm just enjoying the view. We're old friends. Nothing's taboo between us. I'm sure you'll see him around. Kedra is a candidate member of APIS. But, between you, that it's never going to happen. They entered negotiations in 21, and it's been pending ever since. It's warm. It's also known for its mandarin trees and dust storms from Supramundi. Kedra's an emerging market, but it still has a long way to go. Maybe that's why my friend's menage decided to... I'm all ears, officer. A moment. Do you have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again once you leave. It's against diplomatic best practices for an official in my position to be discussing murders with local militiamen.
That's not the real reason he's so apprehensive. Men in his position shouldn't be seen loitering around in underprivileged young men's apartments in the middle of the night.
Of course. I'm...
Ooh, the piggies have learned how to saunter up staircases. I didn't think you could do that with hooves. But here you are. Yeah, you got me now. The dynamic between...
That smell coming from her paint bucket, red-dyed heavy fuel oil, is only used in government.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
Ruination has come. The broken arches betray the once grand history of this building. It towered, a great force from the northeast fired into the city. Heavy artillery shelled the coastline. Fired from the water, the tenement acted as a defensive wall against the worst of the shelling until it was destroyed, and they had the waves of the Martinez Inlet roll over the fallen remains of the building. The dark waters obscured the better. What didn't fall into the ocean was used as scrap. What wasn't used as scrap was thrown into the ocean. Those arches acted as support for something great. Only 3 stories stand where 9 to 12 once did. Restoration has failed. What the a fleet, the combined armies of Occident and Grad. With Mesk volunteers, they massed airships further down in the Bay of Revachol. The artillery was so powerful. The ships not only required gyroscopics, many are still there to this day. If you squint, you can just barely see the shadow on the water. Coalition warship Archer can shoot 50 shells a minute on 20 co-aligned archers. They will reach the city in 58 seconds.
The coalition. But that was a long time ago. I think we should move on. It's chilly up here.
He does not like talking politics of this kind.